All right. So this is the first time I've had more than 2 people on here, so you'll have to bear with me if there's any kind of hiccups. So I'm going to try to share the screen. All right. Bear with me just a moment here. All right. So welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it so much. Just to introduce myself really quick, even though you guys kind of know me, my name is Stacy Younger, and I started in holistic health and decided to start going to school for this because I struggled with both migraines and anxiety, and I went through a very stressful time a few years ago, and with this stressful event, my body was just not able to handle it, and I ended up, my anxieties were triggering my migraines were triggering my anxieties, and it was just one vicious cycle, and I didn't know how to get myself out of it. And finally, I started doing natural stuff and getting in the holistic world, and it all just kind of helped. And I haven't had a migraine in over 2 years, and I feel like I had severe anxiety, and I don't have severe anxiety anymore. I just I'm able to manage my anxiety a whole lot, and so I can function now where I felt like I couldn't function before. So I have notes right here, so bear with me if I look down, and I'm going to open up the very end for questions, so we will have the opportunity for that. So let's get started. Here's my cover, and then here's what I thought that I would show, and unfortunately I have something covering here. Oh, there it goes away. So all these little bells and whistles here. So what should we be eating is what we're going to be talking about mostly. So that's going to be our main topic today of what we should be eating. And then I get asked a lot, should we be eating paleo, vegan, Atkins, keto, or any other? And so I'm going to go over my opinion on that. And everything that I've kind of studied kind of goes along the same way as my opinion on that. We're also going to be covering why should I become healthy now? Because I know everybody's thinking about, it's the holidays coming up, and, they're like, why should I be healthy now? It's, I want to eat turkey and pumpkin pie because Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming. And so it's no fun to try to be healthy when that's coming. But I do think that there's a way to do that. Also, I've had this asked of many times, so I thought I would answer this as well. Most people ask, why should I get healthy? We're all going to die sometimes, right? And so I think that's really silly, but I will answer that too. And I also get asked a lot, about, an easier way to get healthier. And so we're going to go over that. But our main topic for today is going to be what we should be eating. So let's see. So what should we be eating? And for this, I know for me, I was very confused when I first started becoming healthy. I was thinking that I was eating fairly healthy, and I discovered that I wasn't eating very healthy. And then I remember a long time ago, a really long time ago, I was watching the news, and they were saying this news report where I was actually halfway listening to it. I bet if I was listening very closely to it, I would have actually understood a lot better. But it was saying that carrots could cause cancer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how can carrots cause cancer? And it was like, this is ridiculous. Now they're saying that everything's unhealthy, and I was just going, probably how a lot of people that don't eat healthy right now are probably thinking, they say everything's unhealthy, what can I eat that's fun? And I think that that's where it's lost. And let's see, just wanted to go with my notes here. Like I said, I thought I was eating fairly healthy, but I wasn't. And this is why I discovered that I wasn't eating as healthy as I thought I should be. Right now in our foods, we have a bunch of chemicals, pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, genetically modified organisms, and antibiotics, hormones, and all sorts of foods that our bodies can't digest. And one of the things I learned first, there are some natural foods out there, natural foods out there that our body can't digest. Like there's putting wood and cotton, just to give example of some of the things that they're putting in our foods that our bodies cannot digest. And a lot of times this can help us unfortunately gain some weight. If we're eating foods that we can't digest, it kind of has a hard time and our bodies don't know what to do with it. Also, when we are hungry, our bodies are looking for really good nutrients, really, lots of vitamins, lots of minerals. And when we're putting, chemicals, pesticides, or wood or cotton into our body, we're not getting those vitamins or our nutrients, our vitamins and minerals. So what happens with this is we'll eat, and then when we're done eating, we still feel hungry because our body's not satisfied. So we have like all this food in our belly, but we're still hungry because we didn't get the vitamins and so I can't say this, vitamins and minerals, the right nutrients. That is why some of us, have issues losing weight, is because we have all these stuff in our bodies that our bodies don't know how to digest. All right, so again, what should we be eating? So we all want that. I was just telling you what we shouldn't be eating, but okay, let's go with what we should be eating. Organic. I am a big organic person, huge organic, and I love the USDA organic symbol, and I'll talk more about that in a few, but organic is huge. So organics are huge. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to go with my notes here. So what is organic? A lot of people ask me what organic is. And so I decided that I would go to organic.org and get a definition from them, because I think that would be the best way and the best information to get it from. So per organic.org, and you can go to their website. They actually have a much longer description, but here's a short description that they give. Is simply stated, organic produce and other ingredients are grown without the use of pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, sewage sludge, genetically modified organisms, or ionizing radiation. Animals that produce meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy produce do not take antibiotics or growth hormone. So I really, I love organic because I really don't want any of that stuff in my foods. And I know since I have stopped eating processed food and gone more to the organic food, I feel so much better. Like I said, I haven't had a migraine in over 2 years, and I think most of that is just getting the chemical stuff out of my system. So I'm really excited about that. So let's go to our next slide. Why the USDA symbol? Again, this is per theorganic.com. The USDA organic seal ensures consumer quality and integrity. Oops, I can't read this. Give me a second. Integrity of organic products. Organic certified operations must have organic system plan and records that verify compliance with the plan. Operators are inspected annually, and there are random checks to ensure standards are being met. So, and one of the things that I have also learned while studying all this is with the USDA symbol, the products must have at least 95% of their ingredients to be organic. If they don't have the USDA organic symbol, they can say that it's made with organic ingredients, and they have to be at least 70%, but who's to know who's regulating this? So I feel like the USDA symbol is like, when I go to the grocery store is what I look for, because I want to make sure that I'm getting as much organic as I can. There are a very few products out there that I do feel safe eating that are not organic. Well, that don't have the organic certified symbol on it, but I feel that they're probably pretty clean, and I would probably talk about that at a later time. One other thing that I did not put on there that I am really big on too is farmers market. I know the farmers market here in Temecula and Murrieta, that they have to be certified, and they have to, or the people out here are very, very strict about what is being sold at our farmers market. So I wish I could go a lot more. I don't go as often as I'd like to, but I'm making that a goal to sometimes go to the farmers market a whole lot more often. So, but that's pretty much what we should be eating for organic. Let's go to this next one. So I thought I'd talk just very briefly about GMOs, genetically modified organisms, fat-free, sugar-free, calories, and natural products. So let's first start with genetically modified foods. I'm just briefly going to touch this. My personal opinion when it comes to genetically modified and what I've studied with it is I like the idea behind it, but I don't think it was researched enough. And I also kind of think it's in the wrong hands. I think it's businesses that are controlling the GMOs, and like I said, not enough research. So it's causing all sorts of problems right now. It's causing more problems than needed. Fat-free and sugar-free are in the kind of the same category, so I'm going to talk about them kind of together. I feel when companies have fat-free and sugar-free, what they're doing is they're taking the fat and the sugar out of their products, but then they're putting chemicals in to substitute for it. And unfortunately, with especially the fat-free, our bodies need a lot of the healthy fat. So a lot of the fat-free stuff, they're taking out fats that our bodies actually need. And since they've taken fat-free out, they have actually done studies to show that since this has happened, Alzheimer's disease has actually increased because our brains are not getting enough fat. And there's good fats and bad fats. You want to stay definitely away from the trans fats. Saturated fats we do want to keep in moderation. I think the heart disease is trying to get us, or the heart disease website or disease, I'm sorry, I can't think now. The heart disease organization, there we go, is trying to say saturated fats are bad, period. But I think saturated fats, and what I've studied, saturated fats are actually good in moderation. So keep that in mind. And sugar-free, I think a little amount of sugar here and there, especially if it's not refined, is really good. I definitely go for natural sugars like honey, maple syrup, fruits, and stuff like that, but keep those in moderation. Any things like cookies, definitely moderation. So calories, I actually don't pay too much attention to calories. The only times I pay attention to calories if I think someone has way too much calories. Or not way too much, way too little. Way too little calories is when I really pay attention to the calories. I more like to pay attention about what myself and what my clients are actually eating, like a big salad or lots of vegetables, stuff that's organic, chemical-free, process-free kind of stuff. And I don't really, like I said, pay attention to calories. And I think calories kind of gets a little too messy sometimes and stresses people out more than it should be. And then all natural to me is, in our society, is sometimes not what we think it is. there are a lot of foods that are all natural, but again, they're putting stuff in their foods that we can't digest, like cotton or wood, or, to be really gross, but I'll share this with you because I had to learn it too, as they're putting like beaver anal glands in there, and it's really just kind of gross. And so, like I said, all natural is not as good as, as we would think it would be. So I always go for organic. So I hope I'm not going too fast here. I'm just trying to cover everything here. Here's my next, this is one of my favorite ones. People are always asking me, what should I be eating? Should I be eating paleo, vegan, vegetarian, Atkins, keto? And I actually do not really agree with any of these diets. Sometimes I think we could use these diets as a guide, but I don't like diets that are like meant for like one size fits all type of thing. I think we're all different and we all need different foods. And I know that I'm pushing organic, but I think that that's one thing. I think all of our bodies don't need to be filled with chemicals. But after that, I think we should listen to our bodies and go from there. For me, I discovered about a year ago, that my body does better with no meat. I am meatless. I don't eat meat. I still consume eggs and dairy. I've actually tried giving up dairy a couple times, and strangely enough, my body has totally freaked out every time I've tried to give dairy up. So what my title, if you want to give me a title, I would be a lacto-ovo vegetarian. So that's people who still eat dairy or consume dairy and eggs, but I eat no meat, no beef, no poultry, no lamb, none of that kind of stuff. So like I said, we're all one size fits all. And I almost skipped one of my parts, is I have two friends who desperately want to become vegetarian. They've tried everything possible to become vegetarians, and their bodies actually do not handle being vegetarian. I have one friend who found a holistic doctor in Temecula. She goes to him very often, and this doctor actually kind of, but not really, kind of, slightly pushes the vegetarian diet or even the vegan diet, not harshly, but, he's like, hey, if you can, go vegetarian. And one of my friends decided, okay, I really want to become vegetarian. I really want my kids to be vegetarian. And her body just could not handle it. And he said, look, you cannot be vegetarian. You have to have some meat product in your system, because that's what your body needs. So like I said, we all need different things. We need to just kind of experiment and find out what our bodies need. We're not cookie cutter. We're not one size fits all. And so when I hear people get mad at people for not being paleo, or when I hear people get mad at people for eating meat, I just think it's silly. We all need to be doing what's best for us and what's best for our bodies. And so that's my opinion and all the research that I have done for what we should be eating. And there are times where I should be like, have you tried, the alkaline diet? But I'm not saying, hey, go out there and follow it to a T. But maybe, take bits and pieces of it and try that out. So, I will every once in a while be like that. Or have you tried the paleo diet? But, don't go out there and, like I said, follow it to a T. Just try to, see what works best for you. So, all right. So let's go to this one. The holidays are coming up. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's all around the corner, especially Halloween is just in a few days. So, a lot of people, when it comes to getting healthy, this is the last thing on their minds this time of year. And so it's kind of like, why should people think about this? Well, I think, why not, anytime we're not feeling good, why not start when it's coming up? And so here are some reasons I came up with why you should try to become healthy this time of year is look and feel great during holiday parties. a lot of times, this isn't just the holiday season, but this is also the flu and cold season, where people tend to get sick a lot more often. So I know since I've started eating healthy, unfortunately, I still have gotten like 2 colds, and they weren't fun. They actually were full force colds, but they only lasted 3 days. 3 days, and I didn't have the residual stuff afterwards. Like after 3 days, it was completely done. And I think that, that would be kind of nice for, this holiday season, is to not get sick, to not get colds, to not get the flu. If you do get sick, to have a very short-lived. And when you eat healthy, it kind of brings your, well, not kind of, it does bring your immune system way up. And with that, your chances of getting sick is a whole lot, less, and your chances of having it be bad is a whole lot less, and your chances of having it last a long time is a whole lot less. So these kind of tie together, but look and feel great during a holiday and less chances of getting sick. And why wait for after the holidays to get your body ready for the summer? For me, it's been a slow process, trying to get the extra weight off. And but like I said, you all look amazing already, so there's that. Okay, so here is one of my favorite secrets that I've learned, that I have actually absolutely love, that will come in handy when it comes to the holiday season. I love this secret. It's a rule. I love this rule. It's my favorite rule, and I don't follow it. Like, I'm not strict about it. I just kind of try to estimate it, but it's the 80-20 rule. So I don't know if you ladies have heard about the 80-20 rule. I think, Jan, I told you about this the other day, but 80% of the time, and like I said, I'm not strict about it. I just kind of estimate, what it is, but 80% of the time I try to eat really healthy. And then 20% of the time, I'm not cheating, I'm not making a mistake, but I'm either treating myself or rewarding myself. And then this is something where I can eat more of what I want to. Like, so if I want, a couple cookies, I can go eat a couple cookies. This isn't, go eat a whole bag of cookies, but go eat a little treat, type of thing. So that kind of stuff. So I like that. One of my favorite rules. And then I get this asked a lot, so I'm going to go over this. So this is, why should I get healthy at all? We're all going to die sometimes. This is one of these things I get told a lot, and it cracks me up. So I thought that I would answer this. So I am not really promoting to try to help people live longer. It would be great. It would be an extra bonus. I think that would be great. But my main purpose is to help you guys live a very high quality life, a very high fulfilled life, and a life to where you can move and feel great, and be able to breathe easily, and be able to run around if you want to, and that kind of stuff. So it's not so much let's see how long we can live, because I've actually known people who've been able to live really long, but their last decade was not very fun. They were in a nursing home or assisted living, and they were just existing. They weren't really living. So I guess what I'm promoting is to have you guys live instead of exist. So that's my main goal. That's, like I said, we all do die sometime, but why not live life to its fullest before we do, right? So our last thing that we're going to talk about is, for holistic health, isn't there some magical pill I could be taking? I love this. People ask me all the time, what supplements can I be taking to make myself better? And a lot of people would rather take supplements instead of changing their diet. And I do I do take supplements, and I do encourage taking some supplements, but only in a small amount. I don't think we need to be overdoing supplements, and I definitely think that we should be eating very, very healthy, and I don't think the supplements should be substituting a healthy diet at all. And with this, with my approach is to make it easier is I like to do baby steps, or do realistic goals that I think that you guys would be, able to attain. So, Jan, you're the only one with me now. So this next one, I'm going to give you an extra week, but you already know about this. Right now I'm offering a 6-week program for only $75 since you've already signed up with me. We can talk about this more tomorrow, but I will give you additional weeks since you already signed up with me. And thanks for joining me on my my first workshop, so I appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining me again. I'm going to see if you have any questions. So give me just a moment. I'm going to bring you back up here if I can figure this out. Oh, that's not what I want. They changed stuff on me not too long ago, so I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, so you can unmute yourself.
Oops.
Oh, hi.
Okay. Hi.
So
okay.
We lost KT, but I wanted to know if you had any questions and if I covered that all okay.
Yeah. No question came to mind because it was, for me, it was mostly information I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to have different people for your audience. The ones that
Right.
are completely not on holistic spectrum, and I'm more M, but know that I have more room to learn and someone to guide me. So yeah, nothing really came to mind because for me it was really, really basic. Like, those were the most basic things you could ask someone who has no idea.
Right.
So.
And that's why I was saying bring it back to basic, because even sometimes I've had a couple of clients where we've talked about the basics, and then we've gotten more advanced and they're like, whoa, I'm forgetting some of the basic stuff. So we had to kind of go back to the basic stuff and cover that kind of stuff too. So yeah. Sometimes it's kind of a good reminder to remember some of the basic stuff.
Yeah. I know you told me the other day when we met about the 80, let's see, you mentioned the 80-20. Oh, and then you mentioned organic being, the ingredients being 95% organic for as far as USDA organic,
right,
versus other organic. So those two things I didn't know, except for you told me last week. But otherwise, I think I don't think there was anything you said. Well, and the other thing I learned is your feeling of, you don't feel like, oh, everybody should do keto or everybody should do paleo or whatever. So
right. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I don't know, because I've never done any diet. So, but I just always am hearing of, oh, now it's keto, now it's paleo. So yeah, I haven't formed an opinion because I'm hoping to hear, like you say, okay, and why is that? Why is that? Or, well, you said everybody's body's different. So.
And that's something actually that I really love about my school. My school is actually teaching us as well that we're all different, and they actually don't promote one diet over the other. And I love that. And most of the health people that I know don't promote one or the other as well. Like I said, I just don't feel like we're cookie cutters. But like I said, that's my opinion. And I personally don't like when people pressure other people to be like, oh my gosh, you eat meat? What's wrong with that? And I don't eat meat, but I'm not looking at people who eat meat, being bad. It's just what works best for my body is what I like.
Right. The only thing I've ever done is a little bit, not really, but a little bit follow the blood type diet just because I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe this makes sense. But then,
right.
It said things like, I'm a blood type A and I can't have cantaloupe or I can't have mango or vegetarian is better for me. So some of that I can resonate with, like, yeah, I think I probably do feel better if I eat less meat, So I've kind of already learned that maybe at my age I need less anyway. So like my husband just cooked a grass-fed steak. So we already know to eat grass-fed, but
Mm-hmm.
I ate like probably like 3 ounces, maybe, like not hardly any. And right now I'm munching on some kale chips that I dehydrated this week because it's been quite a while. I used to dehydrate them and I fell away from it. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought, well, I'm kind of still hungry because I didn't eat very much meat and I didn't take the time to make anything else, but I'll sit here and munch on my kale chips and that'll still be good, you know. So I have, you know, some good habits, but no, I need to learn more.
Right.
That's where I am.
And what you were saying about the blood type, I totally agree with what you were saying, you know, with the blood type. I think, you know, there are diets out there that are interesting. And I was like, you know, I think we could say, oh, well, this is interesting, but let's see how it works for us, or, you know, but sometimes, like before I started eating, before I went vegetarian, I considered myself to be paleo-ish. So I did paleo, but I didn't follow it to a T, if that makes sense, because following it to a T didn't work for me. So I think, you know, if someone came up to me and said, hey, I kind of want to try this, you know, I would try to tailor it to them, if that makes sense. But I don't think, you know, that we need to be strict about these one size fits all diets.
Yeah. Does paleo pushes red meat, doesn't it? Or what?
Paleo pushes a lot of meat, but they're very caveman. So a lot of paleo people, which I've actually have learned that they're actually starting to modify this a little bit more. But they were a lot of meat, no processed foods, which I absolutely love, but they're also no dairy, no wheat.
Oh,
Everything has to be like, because anything that you could imagine that the caveman ate like a long time ago is what you would eat today, kind of thing.
yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah, that would be a tough one to give up wheat and dairy, even though I don't mind eating gluten-free stuff sometimes. You know, if I can find a gluten-free cupcake or whatever, you know, I'll eat that over a regular one, you know.
right.
But yeah, that'd be hard to give up wheat and dairy.
So I agree. I give up wheat because, well, mainly I'll eat wheat here and there, but it doesn't really agree with my body too much. I don't know if it's a gluten in there, if it's just the wheat, but um, I personally don't eat very much wheat just because it makes me feel a little blah when I do eat it. But like I said, I don't know if it's a gluten, but I'll eat like mainly sourdough bread and stuff. And it's advertised being no gluten, but like I said, I'm not sure.
I wish I was more perceptive of how I feel when I eat stuff. The only thing I do notice, if I were to eat a like real heavy fatty meal, I know I'd get
Mhm.
sleepy later, but because I know that my body's having to work really hard to digest it. But other than that, I don't notice like eating one food like, oh, my body isn't doing that good. Like that is something I don't feel like I do is notice very well.
If you want to, that's something that we can work on. So it's up
Okay.
to you though. So, but other than that, did you have any more questions? And
No, I don't think so.
well, thank you for sticking around and for joining me. This is my very first workshop I've ever done. So
Yay, congratulations.
thank you. And so I might try to do some of these here and there, and I'll choose different topics. So keep it all, you know, not just the same thing. And so we're all learning new things every
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
So, all
Then
right.
we're meeting tomorrow, right? At
Hold on. Let me stop this recording.
oh yeah.